Hello, my name is Jesus Guzman, and this is my game engine demo for Game 575 at DePaul University. The purpose of this assignment was to display something like this on the screen, as you can see here. Through our game engine, we had to take an FBX file, which can have a model and an animation in it, and display that animation on the screen. So as you can see right here, there's a little guy. I'll explain how we got to this point. So I'll put that aside for now. So we started with this convert file, or this convert project here, and it would first display like all the information about that FBX, but we really tried to narrow in on just the animation portion. So we narrowed it down. We made sure that this project was giving us all the data that we really needed. So I tweaked it a little bit to make sure that it would follow along with my game engine and that it would also write some of the code for me since a lot of this data, it's a lot of data to be swimming in. So we could have used it to write to another file and have it import into our game engine. But for right now, I just stuck to hard coding it, made sure that was running first, and that's where I'm at right now. So uh, I will run this with a bat file here to run on 3 different FBX files. You can take a look at it right here. This is what it's running. It's running the converter on these files. There's the do.fbx, which didn't turn out too well, but I tried anyways. I've been working on it. It's definitely a work in progress. The two bone was kind of our first round test. It came out pretty nice, but boring. So we won't look at that. We'll look at Teddy TGA, which came out quite nice. I like it. It definitely is an accomplishment for me to get this far, and it looks pretty solid. So there you go. It ran on those files, and it imported our data into these text files. Now this is what we're going to use to hard code our hierarchy into my engine. And right here, it goes from this node to this node. Those are the bones, and those are what's going to be displayed on the screen. As we go down through the animation, right here is the start of all the keyframe data, and this is where we start our copy and paste right here. This is our other data that we want to import into our game, starting at frame 0 for the first animation all the way to 40, and the second animation, which will be idle, and there you go. And we will also import this data into our game engine. So you've already seen that idle pose. Let's take a look at the walk pose, and I'll explain a little bit more of my game engine once that gets going. So right here we set the make sure Teddy hierarchy is on and make sure it is the walk animation that we want to look at. Over here on the side you can see this is where my animation files are at. Animation Manager takes care of like all the controls, uh, forward and back playing, speeding up, slowing down, and pausing. Animation to Bone holds on to all of the data that we just made. Here's all that data you just saw. This is the dude data, and here are the keyframes of our Teddy Walk animation, and it's all right there. So I made sure that the converter gave me a usable code. That way I can easily import it into this engine, and you can see right here, here is our walk animation. So right here, these are the bones, these little pyramid looking things, and uh, this took a lot of work. Like it might look very simple, but there's a lot to go into these animations. That a lot of things that could go wrong and will go wrong if you're not paying attention. And many times I wasn't paying attention, so I can attest to that. So to show you some of the controls here, I'll reverse the animation and I'll play it forward, reverse, and play forward, and you can see them jittering there. I could also speed it up, and you can see on the side here on the console that it is speeding up in increments, and he's going a little faster. and we can bring it back to its original speed. Slow it down until he's going to stop. Speed it up a little bit, slow it down. It could also go negative to go in reverse. But we'll bring it back, pause, unpause. There you go. There's some simple controls for the game engine. Um, I'll show you the other animation, the idle animation. And here I'm using ifdefs to make sure that the right code is being called. I should have probably used its own object to make sure each one had its own function. For right now, I just kept simple. Um Wanted to make sure that this was running fine before I tried doing any of that. So here we go. This is the idle animation, and you can see you can even go backwards. It looks pretty nice. Uh, I will show you the other dude animation, which is definitely a work in progress. Uh, I can kind of already figure out probably what the problem is. A lot of the hierarchy is yes, this is supposed to be a actual like person, or it's kind of similar to the Teddy animation, but you can see it's just a couple of pyramids moving back and forth. And what really happening is there's only a few nodes that are actually, or bones that are actually being animated, but all the other bones aren't being animated, but they depend on those other ones that are moving, so they should be moving along with them. So my converter right now isn't really handling that too well. It's just setting them to identity matrices, and it's, as you can see, not turning out so well. But there is some animation there, so my converter is making sure that it sends over all the data, but probably not the correct data. So I still gotta work on that, make sure it's working for other kind of FBXs. So there you go. This took a lot of work. It's pretty heavy material. Uh, Here's the process animation to make sure it is interpolating between those keyframes. And that's the anim file. This one holds all the data, and this one does all the controls. So that's about it. Uh, Thanks for listening. Oh, I'll end it on a high note. I don't want to end with that. We'll end with the idle animation. I'll make sure it runs fine. There you go. Yeah, sorry about that. Okay. Thanks for listening. Bye bye.